Welcome to another iNews tutorial. This tutorial is based on version 12.4 of iNews. The purpose of today's video is to have a look at how to create a subscriber account manually. This might be desired if you want to create custom accounts for subscribers not from a publisher using DTI. If the publisher uses DTI, they have the ability to automatically create accounts in your system as required. So if the publisher does not use DTI, you will need to create the accounts manually. To begin, in the residential main menu, under the first daily column, the first button is customers. We will head into that section. You will then be taken to the customer detail screen. You'll be selecting the select drop-down menu, and you'll be selecting new from the menu. It will then ask you, do you want to create a new customer account? The answer to this is yes. The only time you select no here is if you accidentally selected that option in the select drop-down and you didn't intend to create a new account. Once you press yes, it will generate an account number and it will present a blank template for you to be able to fill in the customer details. The second question it is asking here is, would you like to start a new invoice period for this account? The answer to this depends on your use of this customer account. If they are billed by the publisher only, the answer to this is no, because they will never be receiving any invoices from your business. If you are delivering any publications that will receive an invoice and are to be charged by your business, the answer to this is yes. This will simply create a new open invoice period and allow to participate in the current open invoice period that you have in your system. For this example, we'll just select no, because we'll just have a publisher paid subscriber. This then takes you to the template for you to fill in the details for the subscriber. So we'll begin with the surname, and you are more than welcome to use the tab button to tab along the various fields, and that will make sure that you fill in all the details. The house number on the left or right hand side, if you do not know which side of the street the house is on, just place it in the left side, and you are able to change this in the Runbook maintenance system if you do discover later on that the house is in fact on the right hand side. The both field at the start of the line there is basically used for searching purposes only, because you may not necessarily know if the house is on the left or right. So when you're searching for records, you will place the number in both, and that way it will search both sides of the street. We tab across to the street name. You type in the street name, and when you press tab, it will jump across to the same as delivery address button. The first section is the delivery address. The section on the right hand side is the mailing address. Majority of the time this is the same, and if you press this button, it will just duplicate what you have on the delivery address side. If the mailing address is different, you would enter that as is required. When you press the same as delivery, it will duplicate and then drop down to this list here. This is an uplink to the Australia Post database. This contains every suburb and postal code in Australia. This can be used if you type in the name of the address in a continuous format, it will jump down to that suburb. It is very important to type continuously for it to jump down correctly. If you type, stop, and then type again, it will think you're starting a new word, and it will affect the result that you're given. So it is very important to type continuously for it to jump down to the correct option. So I will select the suburb here. It will then complete the suburb for your delivery address, and also on the right hand side under the mailing address it will place the suburb, state and postcode. If that is different, it's actually advised to select the postal suburb from your list and then just change the delivery address suburb manually as required, because that just creates less work. You would then place in the customer's email address, and then their phone number. This phone number can be typed continuously, or you can place spaces in there. However, it is advised to make sure that whatever format you use, you are consistent throughout your system using the same format always. When I press tab, it will ask for the mobile phone number. And then if the subscriber has a work or fax number that you wish to record. When you press tab or go across to the notes field, you can place any variety of notes in here that you want to keep on this subscriber. When you've done that, if you look at the middle lower part of the screen, you've got the tabbed bar. The very first tab selected for you is the supply screen. To add a publication this subscriber is going to receive, it always needs to be added to the future. When the system goes past the start date, it will automatically move the subscription up to current. When you then provide a stop date, it will automatically move across to supply 2, which is the archive. So in future, we will select the publication code. These publication codes have the flexibility to be created as your business requires. For DTI systems, the codes are set by DTI, and it is important to use the same code as what DTI uses for it to match correctly. For all other codes and all other publications, you are welcome to create your own publication code format. We will select the start date. There is no stop date at this point. However, if the client only wants a paper for a certain time, you would provide the stop date at this point. Because of the structure of this code, we need to specify the quantity required for each day. So in this situation, the customer is getting 1 paper Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and 2 papers on Wednesday. If you look further along the line, you can place notes that appear on the stop-start report. Then you have invoiceable checkbox. This box is automatically checked or unchecked based upon how this publication code is set up. However, if you use the same publication code for both publisher build as well as agent build, you need to set this box appropriately. If they built by the publisher, it is unticked. If they built by you as the agent, you would make sure that this box is ticked so that it participates and tracks the delivery quantity and then goes to the invoice at the end of the month. If this is a manual entry for a DTI subscription, it is important that you click on the More button at the end and provide the subscription ID and the billing method. This is important as later on, if the publisher releases a stop for this subscriber, that it is actioned appropriately and you do not have to do additional work. So if this is a manual entry for DTI, it is important to fill in the subscription ID and the billing method as well. Down the bottom of the screen, we've got the account controls. The account status is true. If the subscriber ever stops all of their publications and you do not know when or if they will restart, the option will become false and you will get a red message up the top that says account cancelled. You can then later on re-enable the account, or if DTI comes and loads a new subscription, it will automatically re-enable the account. Delivery method is used for the invoicing. It is important if this subscriber is to participate in generation of invoices, that the invoice method is set to either print or email. If it is set to none, they will not be receiving future invoices. The system will stop the printing and generating of new invoices. So none is usually selected for publisher billed only subscribers. Any subscriber that you bill, the option will be either print or email. The next column is your invoice group. This is where you would have groups set up for your invoices so that they print out in batches, or you can just print everything together. If you need to create a new group, you simply delete what is in the field and type in what you want the new group to be called. Then if you click on the orange background, anywhere on the orange background, and then click back on the field again, it will be added as a new item in the list. Similarly, if you delete the name and it is and all customers in your database no longer have that invoice group selected, that group will disappear from the list. The sequence number is used if you want to print the invoices in a specific order. You would use sequence numbers, for example, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, just to leave a few numbers in the middle for other future accounts to slide in if you require. You use this in the same manner as the electronic runbook. Across, you've got the runbook controls. This is the round group. The customer needs to exist in a round group, which batches them for the electronic runbook. In this case, we will place the customer in the Warnbro runbook. Again, the way these runbooks are created is also by, if you need to create a new group, simply just delete whatever is in the field, type the name, and from that point, if you click on the background and back onto the name, it will be added to the list as a new runbook. The runbook is divided into a weekly, Monday to Friday, and a weekend, Saturday and Sunday runbook. If your business is a smaller distribution business, you would often have the runbook just the same name, Monday through Sunday. If you have a larger business and you have your runbooks configured in a different way on weekdays and you do the round differently on a weekend, you would have different names Monday of weekday and weekend. On the far side of this account detail screen, you've got the occupant IDs. These are the account numbers for the publishers. So this is used in conjunction with DTI. An occupant ID, there's only ever a single occupant ID for a subscriber, which means they just have a single account. You can have multiple subscription IDs, as a subscriber can have multiple deliveries or different publications delivered to them. Each publication will have a unique subscription ID. However, the occupant ID only ever needs one because they've got one account. In the event that the publisher creates a double account on their side, you will find that iNews will throw you an error with the DTI load, and you would need to contact the publisher and arrange to have the second account cancelled and everything merged into one account. So you would have occupant IDs for News Corp, West Australian, Fairfax. You may possibly have an account number, and old account number is not used anymore, but this is for people that migrated from other systems. The last thing I will draw your attention to is the tab bar. So in Supply 2, this is where you will have all the archive for past subscriptions that have passed and no longer running anymore. If you need to record credits for stolen papers, you would add it into this box here. So you would add the publication code, the date which the paper was missing, the quantity of papers that were missing, and then when you hit the end button here, credit invoice, it will forward a credit for those amount of papers into the customer's invoice. Just delete this. You've got the invoices tab, which will contain a list of all invoices customer has ever received. Runbook is where you can see a snapshot of how this customer sits in each day of the week's runbooks. In the Runbook maintenance screen, you will look at a day and you'll see all subscribers together. This tab shows you this subscriber only. The buttons down the bottom here are shortcuts to the individual day's runbooks. It is important never to click Force Active, as this is used for navigation records only. For it to be able to be controlled by the publications the subscriber receives, you just add your subscriptions to the Supply tab, and the Runbook will automatically activate and deactivate the Runbooks as required. So do not use Force Active. If you need to copy, if you add notes or directions to one day and want to copy it to another day, you would use the Runbook alignment function down the bottom here and select the day you want to copy from, the day you want to copy to, and then action that. Next, you've got the customer list. This is if you need to generate special lists for your subscribers. You would create a sublocation, and they will become part of that list. Call Monitor is where you can keep notes on phone calls, emails that you've had regarding this subscriber, and this just allows you to keep a record of communication that you've had with the subscriber. If you're using credit card payments, you would add the card number in here along with the expiry date, which is month and year. You would, if you have permission from the customer to use the card on a continual basis, you authorize it for continued use. Bookmark will be covered in the credit card video, and that's used for actually extracting payments from the subscriber's card. You've got payment details over the side here, which we will also cover in the other video. The last tab you've got is functions. These are additional functions that have been requested of iNews over time, and you may or may not use them for your business purposes. You can apply admin fees to the account invoices. You can apply direct debit banking fees, denote it as a business if you need to keep all business subscribers in a separate to just regular subscribers. You can add a mail out fee. You can calculate the delivery fee by title instead of quantity, so it reduces the delivery fee because you only do one delivery fee by the title instead of by the quantity delivered. You can opt to print subscription labels. If the subscriber never receives deliveries on public holidays, this is excluding Christmas and a Good Friday, which there's no publications at all, you would tick this box to ensure they are removed from the runbook and not charged. You can also do a special invoice, which is the last option, which removes them from the debt control participation. That concludes this video.